Luke here with an update. Hey, what's up guys? So I know a lot of you are probably back in school right now, so I wanted to make a video and share with you the top stories of the stupidest things that I did in high school. Wait, are you trying to tell me that Luke did stupid things in high school? I don't believe it. You can't tell me that. I hate to break it to you, but yeah, I did do some stupid things in high school, but they helped me grow and they helped me learn and become the person that I am now. So quickly, before I jump into this video, I wanted to tell you about this channel called WIGS, which stands for Where It Gets Sassy. I'm gonna annotate to it right here. You can go and check it out, but it's Hollywood production being brought exclusively to YouTube, and I talked about this a few months ago. This Hollywood coming into YouTube moment that's actually happening right now, and YouTube is my home. Yeah, I know a lot of girls watch this channel, so I thought that you might think that it was interesting. You can go over there and say Luke sent me if you want. Every time I tell you guys to go and check out a channel, it's really cool because I go over there and I see all these thumbs up on like Luke sent me with like a zillion thumbs up. But anyways, here's some embarrassing stories from my high school days. The first story I want to tell you about is when I was in 9th grade and I just harnessed my addiction for Mountain Dew, and so did all of my friends, and I had a moped and we wanted to go and get some Mountain Dew from the local gas station. The thing is the gas station was something like 7 miles away and we didn't feel like riding our bikes all the way there, and I was the only one with a moped, so we decided to hook the bikes up to my moped through bungee cords, and I would pull them all the way there. Surprisingly, we actually made it there all the way with me revving up to about 25 miles an hour, pulling both of my friends this chain behind my moped all the way to the gas station. So we get these big gulps, right? These like giant containers, I don't know if they still sell them. Brought them back out to the bikes and the moped and realized that we have to carry these big gulps on a moped and bikes. We can't just throw these big gulps away because we have these big gulps now. And we're thinking, hey, we made it here. Like we're fine. Let's just try it. We can go back just one-handed. But it was starting to get a little bit dark, so we decided to take a shortcut that was on a gravel road. Now remember, moped, pulling 2 bikes, we're all holding big gulps. It was just a bad situation. So once we get to the gravel, one of my friends that was on the bikes in the back, we had agreed that they were gonna do the braking, because if I was to brake, they would run into the back of my moped. So they braked too much, so there was tension on the bungee line, and then I braked. The bungee shot them forward, and they just flew over the handlebars onto the gravel, which the motion also made me wipe out, and we all skidded on gravel at just like a bloody mess. And my friends and I, we were a fairly carefree bunch, and if bad things happened to us, we usually just laugh it off, but this was like rolling around on the gravel, just like, ah, this hurts so bad. One of my friends just like lifted up his Mountain Dew big gulp, and he's like, I saved it. And he actually had saved the big gulp from spilling. Like when he was flying through the air, he kept the big gulp up in the air and it didn't spill, and that was a success for him. But it wasn't a very good situation later when we had to call our parents, and then one of the moms came and picked us up. We had to tell her what had happened and how stupid we were about chaining up the moped and bikes, and we got chewed out because we were dumb. Just even sitting here thinking about all the dumb things I did in high school, I have so many of them. But here's another one. I had a neighbor, and every winter I would run over to his house, which was probably like a quarter of a mile away because I lived out in the country, and we had all of this open land to make these gigantic, like really epic forts. And as we got older into high school, instead of making these really big forts, we decided to have a lot of snowball fights with all of our friends over at his house. And sometimes we'd get a little bit ruthless with it, and we'd take these just snowballs and pack them into like very tight like ice balls. I just said ice balls. Anyways, so we'd make these ice balls and we we would whip them at each other. And I remember throwing one at one of my friends, and I knew that it was probably gonna hurt, but it actually hit him in the head because he was looking in the other directions. I mean, it happens. I didn't mean to like, oh, I'm gonna hit him right in the temple and like, What had happened is that there was actually a rock in with the scoop that I'd made for the ice ball, and the rock hit him in the head, and it had to have killed, but he got really mad because he thought that I was sitting there like packing this ice ball, like, you know, like, so it was so hard that when it would hit him, it almost like would knock him out. So he got really, really mad, and I deserved it because I threw like an ice ball at his head, but it happened to be that there was a rock in there too. He understood eventually, but not in the moment. He kind of ran after me and then stopped right in front of my face, and I thought I was gonna get punched. I also, in high school, I still really didn't know how to act around girls. I mean, to be honest, I still don't know completely how to act around girls, but I was so much more amplified in high school of like not knowing how to talk to girls that I really like, or that I knew that they liked me and they wanted me to ask them to dances. But actually, that could be a whole nother video in itself. You guys should leave a comment if you want to hear me talk about my awkward high school girl stories, because they're terrible. Alright, so the last story to tell you, and this one, you guys might judge me a whole lot, and it's okay. It was dumb. It was dumb of me what I did in this one, but remember, this was in high school, and I'm not the same person I used to be. At least I hope. In this one, it had a lot to do with peer pressure because there was this kid that was on my bus, and I hated this kid so much because he always picked on me. Like every single day he would get on the bus and call me names, or he'd hit me or something. It wasn't like a friendly thing. It was like this kid just, anyways, his name was Chris. He invited me to hang out with him once, and I thought, okay, well, I probably should hang out with this guy and maybe he won't pick on me so much. And so I hung out with him after school one day. But then he told me what we were gonna go and do, and I got really nervous because he said that he had seen in a ditch marijuana. He saw weed, and that we should go and try to pick the weeds and smoke them. So not knowing what to do, I just said, yeah, okay, let's go. Hang out with Chris, the guy that I hate, and maybe he'll think that I'm cool enough that he won't pick on me so much anymore. So we went out to the ditch, and it was one of those ditches that was filled with water, and we went in there and we picked these plants, and I didn't know what weed looked like. So I just thought, all right, we're picking these plants, whatever Chris says. And then we brought the plants back to a friend's house, and we hung them up to dry. And trust me, I'm not giving you guys any sort of recommendations on how to get weed and like hang it up and stuff, because I still don't know. But he said you had to hang it up for it to dry, and then the next day we went back to those plants and they were somewhat dried out, and he tried to smoke one, and he was coughing really badly because it wasn't completely dried out, and he got a really bad headache, and it just was the dumbest thing. And I just kept thinking, like, what am I doing with my life right now? Why am I here? Why am I with this guy? I have no interest in hanging out with this guy. I have no interest in smoking weed. Yeah. And while it was a mistake to spend as much time with this Chris guy as I did, I should have just stood up to him to begin with, but Chris eventually did leave me alone. And to finish things off with the Chris story, my senior year, the girl that I was really interested in and we were kind of hanging out / dating, he ended up swooping in and stealing her from me and then getting her pregnant. So the joke's on you, Chris. I'm not smoking your ditch weed. So that is gonna be it for my Luke is a huge idiot in high school vlog today. If you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, you can give it a thumbs down. That's okay. I'm just gonna make me probably cry a little bit later. It makes me cry if you don't like it. But seriously, if you guys like this type of video, do leave a comment, because I do look through your comments and stuff, and I would like to know what you're interested in seeing, if it's like yesterday's challenge video that I did with Joey, or these vlogs. I like doing both of them, but I'm just curious to know what your guys' thoughts are. So we will see you soon, and yeah, hope you're having fun at school. Don't be a big idiot like me. Bye.
I remember what you told